Hello, my name is Aral Moraes. My roll number is AU210123, and this video response is of my first analysis of my first graphic novel, that is V for Vendetta. So V for Vendetta was crafted by Alan Moore, who is a famous comic artist, and we see that it is based in the 1980s. It was released in 1982. So it is based in a dystopian and post-apocalyptic world after a nuclear situation happened. And so we see that, you know, the main character, that is he wears a mask, and so he tries to replace fascism under the Nosfire party with anarchy. So he tries to replace this. So we see at the start of the novel, we saves Evie from these predators who are the police basically. So we see how exploitative these people in power can get, and we tries to replace this with anarchy. Basically he's an anarchist, and we see that Evie eventually ends up being his assistant, when she's in the prison and she gets Valerie's letter, and then she finally accepts herself as an anarchist and as an assistant to V. So we see, coming to thematic analysis, we see that the main theme is anarchy, and anarchy is what drives the plot. V's desire to overthrow the government, because at one point he was a victim of this, in the research center wherein he was exploited. So that was his villain origin story, okay? And so that is what he wanted to get revenge, and so he wanted to overthrow this government and people in power, and that is basically the anarchy versus fascism. So that is the main theme over here. And a second theme that we see is basically the freedom of individuals. So we see that the government in power, the Nosfire party, they brainwash the people of Britain to think in a certain way. They pass propaganda. Their policies are very like anti people, and they somehow convince the people. So when you say the freedom of individual, we tries to give the power, the decision making power, in the hand of individuals. So he tries to change the social order by giving freedom, and cooperation. He tries to bring about a new and more equal society. So a third theme we see is identity, and we basically, he covers his face, and that helps him to hide his identity, conceal his identity, and bring about the agenda that he tries to bring about. So identity plays a major role over here. Even the identity of the people of the Nosfire party, that is very interesting. And also another, coming to the structural analysis and also the color theory, in many ways we see that the most defining moments are shown through a splash page. For example, when the parliament is being bombed, Westminster, we see that it's in a splash page, and the splash page mostly consists of only two colors. So it might be blue and black. So splash pages are mostly of two colors, and we see that chapter 1 is mostly show and tell. So there's a balance over there, and there's a perfect interplay of words and imagery over there. And we see that the panels are either splash page or encapsulated in rigid panel boxes without eye-catching lettering. So there is no fancy lettering. The panels are in the scenes are encapsulated in rigid boxes, or the splash page for that sense. So we see that as we executes his vengeance, Moore uses more of the show and action to action closure panel transitions. So as there is more action towards the end, you see the action to action closure transitions, okay? And Moore employs more of the tell strategy with person to person closure panel transitions. So when there are two people speaking, there's more of a tell situation there. And yeah, so basically that's it, and that's my analysis of, that's my video response of my first graphic novel, V for Vendetta by Alan Moore. Thank you.